Hey guys, Nick here, and today I want to show you how to use Vienna Ensemble Pro as a host application for your plugins for mixing, not just virtual instruments as many of today's media composers are using it to host contact libraries, Vienna's Synchron libraries and stuff like that, synths and everything, but you can use it to host audio plugins, your VST stuff. So for example, your compressors, EQs, amp sims, and this is our topic for today: how to use Vienna Ensemble Pro to host various amp simulations in order to reamp your guitar DI signals that you've recorded with a click of a button on the go. So everything is always set up there, so you can just tweak and have your own tones always ready. So I have my clean DI signals here of my guitars. So left and right double tracked, Gibson Les Paul, just your standard rock guitar. And I have my Vienna Ensemble Pro instrument here loaded as an instrument track. So it's always important to load it as an instrument track so your DAW can then recognize your Vienna Ensemble Pro server on its own IP address on your local network. So I load this up. I connect my, let me just disconnect it here, and then I click on connect, and it will find my guitar rig reamp stuff here. I click it, it's preserved, so just in case my DAW crashes, my VE Pro will not, so I can just continue where I left off after my DAW has crashed, if it crashes, But it has happened to me multiple times when I load like more than 10 guitar amp sims. So I do this, pretty useful feature. Now on my DI signals here, I have a Vienna Ensemble Pro audio input loaded as a VST audio plugin here. So if I just unassign, I can select my inputs here. I'm just using inputs 1 and 2. I click assign and I go to guitar rig reamp, and it's the same thing as here. Now I go to my VE Pro server, so this is what I get. Now, why I am using input 1 and 2 here, just because I'm sending this one guitar signal throughout various amps. So I created buses here that I have on different outputs. So you just right click, you insert a bus, it will create a bus, and you just load. I just have a plugin here, the Equalizer Pro, which is bundled with the Vienna Ensemble Pro, so I can tweak after my guitar signals have passed through my amp sims. I can just tweak those and record them. And in order to get my plugins working, I can insert an input, and I just create inputs 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Now I have my inputs here, all of them are like 1 and 2, but what happens when you have a mono guitar signal here, you pan 1 to the left, pan 1 to the right, and then when you go to your VE Pro 7, there is this great tool which is called the stereo pan. Now by default it looks like this, but I want to pan my left guitar here, and I pan it like this. So I have a mono signals, like one pan completely to the left and one pan completely to the right, and it goes throughout all of these other amps the same. So I have my green here. My green amps are my clean amps that are then being sent into my bus here, which is called clean, and then my bus goes through my outputs 1 and 2. My yellows are my crunch sound, which are going through my outputs 3 and 4, and my high gains are the red ones going through outputs 5 and 6. And if I click my Vienna Ensemble Pro instrument track here, which I'm not using, so you can just go here, hide it, nothing too fancy, you have a clean look here, and then I just have selected my outputs 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 as stereo guitar stuff here. So let's see how it sounds. Now everything is muted here, so for example I want to do my clean sound. I press play, everything is playing of course, but I am hearing just my clean sound. So My clean amps, my left and right, are my Fender Bassman simulation. Like I can go through the volume here and just tidy it up just a little bit. I have various setups here that I can, tweak it. My right guitar amp is a Fuchs Train, so I have it all set up here as well. I can just do maybe a tad. So I have my, fairly cleanish sound, okay? And as you can see, if I play in Studio One, it goes through my green here channel, which is being feeded with the VE Pro audio input, and then I have my clean guitar bus here for recording. Now, if I want my crunch sound, I just have to mute all the others, and then I just go to my crunch sound and I press play. There's your crunch. And if I go back to Studio One, you can see that the yellow one is going into the crunch sound. Now, my crunch amps here are hosted like my Friedman here, which is a BE100, currently my favorite guitar amp sim. And I have the daddy of rock and roll, which is my Marshall Plexi. Okay? So this is how it sounds. Now if I stop here, and I have my EQ, for example, here, if I play, I have it tweaked here so I don't have that much of crud, it's very, very muddy. So I cut it, and I have let's get it some more boost here. Okay, so that's my, crunch rock and roll rhythm sound. If I go to my high gain stuff, this is my high gain. Goes through the red signal here inside of high gain, and I have my Diesel VH4, my favorite high gain amp sim, and on my right channel I have my Angle VSE646, I think it is. Yeah, there it is. It says like so. And you can tweak these plugins on the go, it just works like that. So in order to, you can always load up some new, if you wanna, it's all completely modular. So let's say I don't want, in my high gains, for example, I don't want my Diesels and I don't want my Angle. So I want to use instead of Diesel, I can just rename, and I want to say I want to use a Mesa Boogie Dual Rectifier. So I go into my plugins here, or I go to my, let's say, my plugin Alliance, and I go to my Mega Dual mono to mono, and this is my, like a Mesa Boogie. I can select a preset here, fairly simple, heavily gated riffs, let's call it this way. And my Angle, I want to be my Diesel, but I don't want to use a VH4, I want to use a Diesel Herbert. Okay, so I press and I go to Diesel Herbert, and I create my Diesel Herbert. I select a preset here, let's say, call it like, I don't know, new metal, whatever. I can tweak it here, whatnot, and then if I press play, it goes through my clean signal. Everything is muted, so I press play, I unmute my high gain, and then I just boost, and I tweak my channels. So these is clipping, just give it so you set up your that one, and my Mega Dual I set it up. So I have my, you can always select your channels, stuff like that. So I have my bass set up here on my modern. Okay. And then I just tweak it with my EQ. It's got so much mud here, so you can tweak your plugins here on the go. All of these amp sims are a little bit fizzy in the higher register, so it's always a good thing to cut them, okay? And you just, you just select the signal that you want, you play. This is my rock, for example. This is my clean. But then you can combine, for example. You want to have like a dirtier clean, like who knows, you can, it will play all of them together. And everything corresponds to the signal here. And then you can just either record it or, just bounce the track. If I go to my stems and I find my, let's say I want to find my crunch, I select crunch and I just bounce it, and I have my crunch stereo guitars ready for mixing, or my, high gains and stuff like that. So one good thing is that at the time of recording of this video, today is June 21st, 2020, Vienna Ensemble Pro is on sales discount throughout, for a while. So you can go and check it out on Vienna Symphonic Library's website. I will post the link in the description below, so you can, just go ahead. If you want to buy it, it's around $140, $150 or euros, depending on the, region where you live at. And, if you have a Steinberg key, if you have a Vienna key for the e-licenser thing, just go ahead. You will not regret buying this. I've been using VE Pro for, 6 or 7 years. It has saved me countless times, and it has completely boosted my workflow and my production in a way that I always work faster, and I don't have to think about different loading up different stuff on and on. It's always just saved as a preset. You go to your instant save project as, here it is, and I just re-record my guitar reamp rig here. It saves it, and there you go. So have fun with it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.